Alright guys, before this video gets started, I'm throwing this in here real fast. This is what we're making today. We're making a beam that allows you to, it looks really cool like this. It's really awesome. You'll see me setting this up at the end of the video. I should put this in. I'm doing this more now where I put the end effects, or the end result into the start of the video. But, anyway, pretty much you have this beam. You can copy these parameters from, or you can copy locations and paste it into here. And you can adjust it however you like, and it's really cool. It also has collision on it, which is awesome. And as you can see, the beam looks like a real beam with how it moves. That's through materials and curves. So yeah, you guys will, hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. Without further ado, I'll let my past self take it over now. Hello guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're actually not doing verse. I know I just started that series. It's the next video you guys are watching. This one, it's kind of a long video. Or not, it's not this one. This is my old one. It might have been this one. I don't know. No, I made it on my verse project. Yeah, no, these are not for the video. But it's over how to make a custom device in verse, which is awesome. I'm sorry it's such a long video. It's like almost an hour long, but there's a lot of explaining, a lot of detail, and a lot of stuff to pick up in that one. But anyways, today, what I want to do is I want to teach you guys all about, more about materials and more about Niagara, because I've learned so much more, so much more. So, first thing I gotta see if, I gotta make sure I got textures for this. I don't know if I did. Maybe not good enough textures. Let's see if I can get some textures real fast that I got. We'll go through noise. Oh, I do. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna grab this one. I don't know if I have height noise. I don't think I do. But we'll have to grab swirl, and we'll also grab. Oh, I want this one. Swirl noise height. That's a good one. There you go. We're open those two. Awesome. Okay, I got some good textures. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're making some really cool materials with some really good WPO, world offset, or yeah, WPO, world offset position, or world position offset. Sorry, put that backwards. My bad. And then we're also making a Niagara effect with these materials we create. So let me stop rambling. Let's go ahead and let's get into this. So we're gonna call this M underscore. Let's find a code name for all these. Let's do cobra beam. Oh no, it's a cool name for it. Why not? Alright, so once you open this material, I will say before we get into it, you want to know the basics of materials before you get into this stuff. This is more advanced. I have basics further down into the tutorials at the start. This one's more advanced stuff where we're doing a lot of stuff with textures and we're making textures affect our material, so it won't be stationary like this, and it'll actually be really cool. Alright, so what we want to do first, make it translucent, make it unlit. You'll see it only has these three. That's what we want, because this is going to be a Niagara material. One other thing you want to do is type in Niagara, just like that, and just check all three of those. Sweet, okay. That's all the step we gotta do in there. We're good. So, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna grab my texture. Oh yeah, you will see it turns into a square, that's normal. It's fine, it doesn't break nothing. I'm gonna grab my, swirl noise height. So, what is this gonna do, you guys may ask? You will see. Let me see here. Why is it being, I'm gonna do a grade, not grayscale. Let's do, not normal map, let's do, I don't like alpha either. HDR good? No. Okay, default's fine with me then. Update that real fast. Let me drag it back in. Oh, what did I do to it? Oh no. Oh no. That's RGB, yes. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. Alright, sweet. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this actually move, and we're gonna get this to be looking like a beam. So let me show you how we're gonna do that. So we're gonna grab a texture coordinate. We're gonna grab a vector 3, and then we're gonna grab an append vector, and then we're gonna grab a multiply. And we're also gonna need a panner. So we're gonna plug our texture coordinate into our multiply. We're gonna plug the R and the G into our append, and we're gonna plug this into B. and then we're going to plug this into our coordinate. So, if I plug this in now, you'll see the texture goes black. That's because we don't have any basic values set up. If I set to 1 and 1, we will see if I update it. Maybe if it updates. I don't know why it's not wanting to update. Oh, it's giving me an error. That's why. I don't know why I set to linear color. Cool. Alright, so now that we have that all updated, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna set this to be, I don't want the beam going upwards for this. Oh no, we want it to be going to the side. So 0.3, and we'll set that, we'll keep that 1. So you can see the beam's gonna be going more sideways. So if I set my value, I'm gonna want to get X to 0.3, 0.5. We have a beam starting, so that's not going fast enough for me. I'm gonna make it a 0.2, and I'm gonna actually increase this to a 0.8. There you go. So we have a nice little beam going. So now what I want to do is let me make a new folder called curves, and we're gonna go make a curve real fast. So whenever you press curve, you just press curve, curve linear color, select, and we're calling this beam base. Awesome. Open this up. We're gonna set this white to be black, and then we're gonna come to 0.5 right here. We're gonna make this be a red, and then I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna make this be black. I'm also gonna add another black right here. So that sets the size of our beam. So this is gonna be the size of our beam. You can make it bigger or smaller if you want to. And we're gonna grab a curve atlas real fast. We're calling this beam atlas. Sweet. So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna turn off square resolution. We're gonna set the texture height to 1. Press the plus right there. We're gonna grab our beam base. Awesome. Save that. So now what we can do is we can come out here and we can grab our beam atlas, and boom, we have our beam right there. That's awesome. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a lerp. We're gonna grab the red from this to alpha, and then we're gonna plug the RGB into B. And as you can see now, we have a beam, but it's going the wrong way. That's easy fix. Just grab a custom rotator real fast, plug our texture coordinate into that, and then since this is 0 to 1, we're going to do 0.25 to turn it to a 90-degree angle. And we'll plug that to our UVs. Boom. Update that. Now we have a moving, flowing beam. And I kind of think this beam's a little big, so I'm going to scale it down a little bit more. Probably to about there. There we go. Okay. We'll update our beam. Which actually, I think I gotta go update the atlas. Or does it automatically? It automatically updates. Okay. It should all be fine then. Sweet. Okay, so we have our flowing beam now. So that's awesome. So what we want to do is get some colors for this. So I'm going to get a linear gradient. And I'm going to get 2 vector params. Or just 2 regular params. Yeah, vector params. That's what they're called. Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to go from... I'm going to make this one be... Go from a light green to a dark green. Kind of like an alien beam. I'm going to make it more bluish. Yeah, I'm going to make it more dark. And then we're just going to grab a lerp. Plug in our V gradient. Plug this into B. Plug this into A. And as you can see now, we have a nice little gradient there that looks alienish. So, we're going to lerp that into this. This will be our alpha. This will be our B. We have a cool green beam now. I like that. You can do whatever colors you want, by the way. It doesn't have to be that. So for opacity, we're going to plug the red of this into our opacity. And then we're going to multiply this to make it have brightness. I'm going to do 3 and 3. Multiply that in there. Plug that into there. Cool. We have a moving beam. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit more to 1, probably. There you go. It's a lot faster moving now. Also, one thing I will suggest while making moving textures, if you go to live update, turn on real-time nodes. This will update your nodes to real-time so you don't have to keep closing them and opening them. It's amazing. Alright, sweet. So that's our basic setup of that. Super simple. Now what we want to do is set up WPO. This is where stuff starts to get confusing. So, we're going to grab a texture coordinate, and then we're going to get our breakout float 2 components. So what this is going to do is we're breaking down the texture coordinate to get a R or a G. So before we do that, we want to grab another vector 3, not param, just make it a consistent one. Set all your values to 1 by default. And then we're going to multiply our red by the red here. There we go. So this is basically just getting our texture coordinate of the red and setting our texture coordinate up. And as you can see, it makes it like a gradient. So now what we want to do is we want to multiply that by time. So again, multiply, plug in the time to A, and then we'll plug the blue into B. So this will get the time, so we're able to actually move it and not have it be stationary. And we're going to add the two together. So as you can see, it's going to look red. That's all it's going to look like. So, what we want to do now is we want to grab a cosine, add, a sine. Well, actually, we want the cosine down here and the sine up there. There we go. And grab one more sine. So we'll plug this add into all of these. We'll plug these into here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to append a mini. Just like that. So our top ones are red, our middle ones are green, and our bottom ones are blue. There we go. Now we want to multiply RGB into A. So it might look purple for you. That's because we have this set to 1 instead of 0. Or not that one. You want them both to 0 to get the actual colors. Is it not updating? 1. Okay, we'll do 0.2 or 0.5. Yeah, there it is. And 0. Sweet. Okay. So what this is telling us is basically all these different colors represent different positions on the object. But we don't want to forget our green. So we're going to add down here. We're going to pull our green out. We'll set this to be about 30. And then we're going to multiply that into here. So there we go. We have our WPO set up for now. So if I drag this out and I get a named reroute real fast. We're going to call this WPO. Cool. And we get our WPO real fast and we plug it into our roll position offset. We will see. We have a really cool, crazy wobbly effect that a beam would be doing. So if we don't want it to be that strong, we don't have to make it that strong. We can actually reduce this to like 10. A lot less violent. Or if you want to make it super violent, like go up to 100. It's going to be like insane. Yeah, I don't even know what's happening there. Anyway, I think for this I'm going to make it 10. Sweet. Okay, so now that we got that going, I want it to move up and down. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab a 3. Or not 3. You want to press 3 on the keyboard. That's why I say 3. You want to get a consistent vector. Or vector 3. That's what it's called. My bad. I'm sorry. And we want to grab a time. Drag that out into a sine. And then multiply. And we want to grab the RGB of that. So R is your X, G is your Y, and then this is your Z position. So I want this to bob, so I'm going to set this to about 100 on the Z. Now if I add these two together, we should have the wobble effect as well as the bobbing. Yeah, there it goes, it's bobbing. So I'm going to set my time period on that in the sine to be 5. And I'm going to set this to about 50 instead. I feel like 100 is a little too violent. Okay, I'm going to keep this at 1, because it does not fit the wobble. There you go, so now we're fitting the wobble correctly. So we have more of a up and down wobble without changing the violence on that. And then if I wanted to expand out more, I can grab another 3 here. We'll set this, we'll change the Y value to about 25 on that one. And we'll grab another 3. Set this to 25 as well. I don't want to add that to that. Oops. How did I even make a comment on there? I don't know how I did that. Don't pin. There we go. Okay. And set this to 25. Set that to 0. Alright, sweet. So we got those two. Now, one thing about WPO is it does start getting quite messy the more you do on here, as you can tell. Drag these down. Let me go ahead and get another sign. And we grab another time. Plug that into here. Drag that out into another sign. Plug that over here. And then we're gonna multiply these again. RGB, sine, multiply, RGB, sine. Sweet. Okay, so we got all these colors coming along now. I'm gonna add these two together. Since I'm quickly doing this, it's gonna be a little bit of a messy material, so I apologize for that. And then drag these out, add this together to this ad. There we go. Okay, so our WPO should be moving a little bit more. So 25 is kind of violent. I'm gonna go to 10, and then 10. There we go. Okay, I like that. I like that. It's a nice little effect, and it's gonna be more rotatey with these extra params added. So that's our WPO setup, and then you can just come through here. Let me drag these down, or attempt to. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab all this here. I'll make a comment called WPO. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so we have our beam set up. The Cobra beam. That's cool. I like it. We'll compile it real fast. Make sure we save. Always want to make sure you save. Let me save that as well. Sweet. So now that we have that set up, you'll see here's our Cobra beam. I feel like it's still wobbling a little much. 5 and 5. There, I like that more. Let's preview it. Yeah, that's fine. There's a lot of play around with WPO to get it the way you want it, but it's all worth it at the end. Awesome, okay. So we're gonna make another one. We're gonna call this M_Cobra orb. So this is gonna be like little atmospheric orbs pretty much on your Niagara. So we'll make these really cool. So we're making the same options: translucent, unlit. We'll type in Niagara again. Set those three. Boom. Apply. So I'm gonna come to my textures. I'm gonna grab cloud noise for this one. Alright, let me grab a texture coordinate. Vector 3 again. And then we're gonna append mini. Or not append mini, append vector, I'm sorry. Grab our R and our G. Set these to be 1 by default. Multiply it by our at. And then grab our panner, plug it into coordinate, plug that into UVs. Sweet. So I'm gonna have this be going up by 0.1. Since I'm making it move up, I want to set this to point. Oh, I don't want to change that one. I want to change my Y. 0.5, 0.4, 0.1. There we go. Okay, we have it going up more. And we'll set this to 0.2 probably. Maybe 0.3. Cool. We have a nice little beam. Actually, I feel like it's really fast for an orb. 0.05. There we go. Okay, sweet. So we have that going. Now, I want to grab a spear mask. I'm going to grab a texture coordinate for the first one. And then we're going to grab a vector 2. I'm going to set these to 0.5. 0.5. Plug that into B. Make my hardness, well, let me open that first. Make my radius 0.5. And set my hardness to 0. Okay, I'm going to go to 0.3 then. 0.4. There we go. 0.35. That's good. I like that. So, as you can assume, this is going to be our opacity, since we want it to be an orb. And then we're also going to lerp this into here. Awesome. Alright, now we want to colorize this. So let's go ahead, let's grab a couple colors. Since I'm following the alien theme I'm doing already, we're going to do light green. I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Then back to a more of a bluish, but darker. Get our linear gradient. There we go. Then we're going to lerp all those together. We have a coordinate, or we have a gradient like that. And then we're going to lerp that into here. Boom. Now you have a cool effect going. And then we're just gonna multiply that by a value of, I don't know, 3 and 3. That's what I like to do. Plug it into my mist color. Nice, we have a cool little orb going there. And I might do a little bit more. I might set that to 4. That's really cool. Now, it's not going to look very cool without having a nice little WPO added to it. So let's go ahead. Let's grab our texture coordinate. Let's break float 2 again. Let's grab another vector 3. Starting to 1. Not 10, not 10, 1. Okay. Multiply U on my red. Then grab a time. Multiply U on my blue. Alright, sweet. And actually, I might make this one green. So we'll do that. Alright, we'll add these two together. We'll get our sine. Our two adds. Cosine. Sine. There we go. Plug all these together. There we go, sweet. So now we're going to append mini. R is R. This is going to be our G and our B. There we go. And then we'll multiply that out to my RGB. Grab that. This to be 0.5. And then I might keep that as 1 for this one. Alright. And then we're going to add my blue, which is my Z coordinates. So that's about 15 to start. And we're going to apply that into the end here. There we go. So now that we got that, we can go ahead and drag out named reroute WPO. Grab my WPO and pull it up here. It's wobbling a lot. 5, 2. Nice. It's a little wobble effect. And then I want to add another value. Ooh, let me move all these down first. We'll get vector 3 again. Not 1 on that. Let's make it move by about 25 on that. Time into a sine. And multiply them together. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to add them together like we did last time. Plug into my WPO. And let's see what's going on here. 25 is a lot. 15. Sine it by 5. There we go. That's cool. I like that. Then we view that in here too. You can see it's just an orb floating. Alright, sweet. So we'll save that like we always do. Close that out. And then, I think what we're going to do now is we are going to... sorry if my mic's making weird sounds all the way. It does that sometimes. We're going to make a Niagara system. That's what we're going to do now. We're getting to the Niagara part. Because we got our materials we need. Let's make sure we had everything. So we're going to do ns underscore cobra beam blast. Or just beam. Yeah, blast. We'll call it that. Blasty. Yeah, I like blasty. I'm actually going to keep that even though it's a typo. Alright. So I made this an empty Niagara. So what you want to do is we're going to create, we're going to get an empty. And this is actually going to be inside of a sprite renderer. We're going to make this a ribbon renderer. And we'll plug our beam into it. Sweet, we'll update that real fast. So what we want to do is we want to get the beam to spawn. And we want to have a start point and an end point. So, to do this, we want to make a beam emitter setup. This will tell us that we have a beam start and then a beam in position. And then we want to do absolute beam in, make sure that's checked. And then before we get off of this, we're going to create a new thing over here. We're going to type in position. We're going to call beam target. So this is pretty much setting this to be the target of whatever this is. And since it's a user parameter, whenever we place this inside of our viewport, we'll be able to set these parameters up however we like, which I'll show you that here in a little bit. Alright, so for the testing, we're going to set this to 1000 by default. Sweet, okay. So what I want to do now is in our particle spawn, we want to spawn the beam. And then we want to get the beam width. Spawn beam, it should be empty. That's fine. We don't have to worry about that. Beam width, I'm going to set this to default of 200. Oh, also, one thing we want to do up here is spawn burst instantaneous. Get spawn count of 2. Boom, we got our beam. Oh my gosh, that WPO is awful on it. I don't like these. So I'm going to delete these. I don't like those. Those are just too much going on there. And we're not going to add that. We're just going to plug this into here. There we go. So let's see what's going on. This is really, really strong. So let's add that to 10. Okay. And then I'm going to reduce this to 5. So there you go. We have it bobbing. It shouldn't look that bad in the actual viewport if I drag it out, however. Yeah, it looks a lot better in here. Because look, it looks like an actual beam moving. So, if it looks really bad in the viewport, I'm sorry. Or not the viewport, in the actual Niagara system. That's just the way it is. Sweet, okay. Open this back up. So, now that we have that, we want to go ahead, and that's really the main beam setup there. I think that's everything for that. Also just put an update beam down here, or beam update. Yeah, update beam. So that way if you add anything else down here for future references, you have that. Sweet. So we're going to call this beam. Now we're going to get a new Niagara emitter. And we're going to call this beam orbs. So, as you can assume, we're going to grab our cobra orb in here. Sweet. Okay. So we're going to get a spawn rate for this one. We'll do about 65. In particle spawn, we're going to set lifetime to be 5. Sprite spawn mode to be uniform. Or actually, I'm going to make it non-uniform. No, I want to make it random uniform. That's what we're going to do. So let's set this 100 to 150. And as you can see, our orbs is spawning down there. They look a little weird. We could probably fix that really fast by adding more to our multiply here. There we go. So that should make it look more green. It still looks a little dark. That's because this here is still black. And to fix that, I'll just set this to be a little bit of a dark blue. There we go. Apply that to here. Ooh, and I want to make that be lerped into my mask. So we'll lerp that into you. Plug you into there. Plug you into here. There we go. Alright. Sweet. It doesn't cover the whole thing. And we have the effect of the orb going. Yeah, I bet you we can set this back down to 3 and 3. And then we can also divide this effect out. We'll just grab a divide real fast. Okay, sweet. So we'll plug this into A. We'll divide by 5. Hopefully I didn't take too much off now. I did. We'll divide by 2. I really don't know why it looks so dark on the sides. Divide by 1. And multiply by 5 and 5 again. There we go. We have a lot better orb there. That's awesome. Okay. We'll update this emitter. So, what we want to do is we want to add velocity to this. We want to press the second fix issue, so our solve force and velocity goes to the bottom. We're going to make this from point. And we're going to make velocity rate probably about 100. Nice. Actually, we'll go to about 25. And then we're gonna turn spawn rate down to like 25 as well. I feel like there's a lot of spawning. Even 25 is a lot. We'll do it at 10. And then we're gonna add gravity. Gravity force. There we go. And we're gonna set this to 200. That way our particles are going up the beam. Sweet, okay. So you don't have to do this. This is what I like to do. I like to have extra particles going along the beam. Although if you drag it out, it's gonna not follow the beam. So I think what I'm gonna do is set my velocity origin to my beam target. Save. See how that does. Not really helping very much. I'm not sure why. So I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna go to my gravity force. I'm gonna see if I can set position on here. I can't. What if I use this in here? Nope, doesn't do nothing. Alright, we'll undo that. 200. I'm actually thinking about redoing this and making this. Ooh, I have a new idea. Guys. Hold on. So we're gonna get rid of. We're gonna keep gravity force, but we're gonna make it 100. Alright, sweet. Actually, no. We're gonna get rid of gravity force. Yes, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna set this to 100 on velocity speeds. Alright, so what I wanna do is I wanna make this alignment to be velocity aligned. And then I'm gonna go to my particle spawn. And inside of here, we're gonna do non-uniform like we're gonna do before. So I'm gonna set this to about 200. And we'll set this to about 100. We'll set this to about 200. I should do 50 on this. There we go. Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna add a little bit more velocity speed to make it like 500. Oh, too much. 200. We'll crank up spawn rate to about 65 again. Okay, I have too much speed. 500. That's good. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reduce lifetime. Well, we'll keep lifetime the same. We're not worried about that. We're going to add a drag. We'll do about 5. 1. -1. -2. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we'll do about 1. That should be alright for what we're doing. I might actually set to 0 on the drag. I think that's default then, so that technically wouldn't need the drag. Alright. Sorry. So now we're going to do scale. Where's sprite size? Sprite. Scale sprite size right here. So, we want this to start at. Alright, I apologize for that little cut. Something happened. Where were we? Oh yeah. So we're scaling the sprite size from 1 to 0, and then right here we're gonna point this to like 0.2. There we go. That's cool. I like that. Maybe we'll do 0.1, or no, never mind. Set this to be 0.5. I didn't want me to switch that one. I'll set this to 0.2. There we go. So now we have a smooth transition out instead of it just disappearing. That's nice. And now I'm gonna set this to be user. Now I'm gonna, oops. I'm gonna adjust this. Why is it being weird? Alright, set this to user. Control Z on that. We'll make all these users. So Control A. Right click. User. There we go. So that'll clean up our graph. Make it a little bit cleaner. Alright, so now that we have that, I think what I want to do now is I want to go to initialize particle, and we want to set a position to beam target. So we're going to do direct set, and we'll drag out beam target and plug it to position. So hopefully, in theory, this will, I don't know what's happening. Why is it doing that? Simulation. Simulation position is not doing nothing for it. Oh, let me disable this one and re-enable it. No, that's not doing nothing. Oh, because add velocity, velocity origin has to be beam target. Yeah, there we go. Heh, sorry, brain died a little bit there. Okay, sweet. So we have this cool little effect there going on where it looks like it's hitting something. Ooh, alright. So, now that we got that going, we're going to go ahead. We're going to copy and paste this over. We're going to delete solve forces and velocity. Delete add velocity. We're going to set spawn rate to be 3. We're going to adjust the size to be velocity aligned still. Actually, we can reset that to be automatic. And we're going to set our size up here to be uniform 100. Actually, 500. There we go. Okay. Spawn rate should be about 3. I already set that up. We're gonna go ahead and, yeah, that should be all good. Look at that. We have a little strobing effect on the end now. Now, in theory, what you could do is you can actually unset the material and set it to be, not that. Default. Is it that one? No. Orb. Oh, I forgot what it's called. I'm trying to think here. I think it's called Niagara default. I don't know. Let me see. Let me grab an empty emitter real fast. We'll see. Default sprite material. That's what it's called. Default. I don't know why I can't select it. Okay, well, we're just gonna get a new one real fast, then we'll redo the same thing we just did. So get a new emitter. Delete that one. We're gonna do spawn rate. Spawn rate 3. And I'm just gonna copy this, paste it into here, and copy these two, paste them into here. And then I'm gonna have to set the size again to be uniform. We'll set it to about 200 again. Oh wait, why are they falling on the bottom now? No, don't do that. What is happening? Initialize particle, that's what it is. Beam target. Oh, I gotta direct set. Now plug that into there. Reset that. And apparently they are going all over the place. Cause I gotta make this. No, it's not that, is it? Oh, cause we don't need the velocity. Right. We gotta delete that. Delete that. Okay. We're gonna get our color. And we're gonna make this instead of that. We can make it, I don't know, whatever color you want. Doesn't really matter. I'm thinking about dark green for it. There we go. And I might scale up the size a little bit more to about 500 to really have it flashing. Awesome. Okay, one other thing we can do to the beam is make this ribbon render. We can set the leading edge to be smooth transition, set the trailing edge smooth transition. Same thing on UV1 settings as well. And then let's see what happens. This is really supposed to make the end of it look really smooth. That's the main point of that. I might make my color a little brighter on here. Cool. See how that looks. A little bit too big now, so adjust that real fast. Niagara's a lot playing around in case you guys are wondering. 300, nice. I like that. I like that. And then I'm actually gonna add a little bit more velocity to my beam orbs. And I'm gonna call this I'm gonna make 800. And I might crank up spawn rate a little bit more to like 85. There we go. And then one other thing you can do if you really want to make it really fancy is do collision. So now we will see the effects are bouncing off whatever they hit, which is awesome. So I can move this beam wherever I want, but you'll see the actual beam isn't moving. That's because I have it set to that parameter I was talking about earlier. So let me just miss this. If I copy the location of this, I select my beam, and I paste that into my beam target, it automatically locks onto that object and it starts hitting it. Awesome, right? And then I can control this. Not that. It's gonna be this one. And you kind of get it to fit to whatever you want it to hit. There we go. So boom, it's hitting that thing. It has effects flying off and everything. It's all nice. So that's the beam. That's how you make a really cool beam Niagara effect. And that's how you do WPO cool things inside of UEFN. Alright, I hope this tutorial was useful, and I went over a lot, so yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. And as always, if you did, like, subscribe, that's much appreciated, and yeah, I'll talk to y'all next time.